Hi, my name is Jimmy Williams with NFL Draft Diamonds. And here with me today, I have a diamond in the rough I'd like you guys to meet. This is Chris Victor. He is an edge rusher out of Tennessee-Chattanooga. Nice to have you today, sir.
Thank you for having me.
So, part of a very tough defense there for Chattanooga. Obviously playing edge rusher. Finished solid season, and hey, I feel like people need to know this guy. So, Chris, go ahead and introduce yourself, and we'll get going.
I'm from Jacksonville, Florida. I'm actually transferred from Mississippi Valley State, University of Tennessee at Chattanooga. And it's been one roller coaster, I would say,
It's been
a
a
lot of
ride.
ups and downs.
So, no, I get you. Well, Chris, let's give the, I guess, give the foundation, the basics of you. So, want to start at really the beginning. How long have you played football?
I want to say since second grade, I was begging my dad to play because a lot of my own friends they were playing it, and then a lot of people in my neighborhood they were also playing it. But my dad was like, "Nah, no, you're gonna get hurt." So I remember second grade I was playing flag. I did flag for a little bit, and then I was just like, I want to play with with pads. So third grade I got to actually play with pads, and it was okay. It was okay for the most part. I couldn't complain, but since second and third grade.
Gotcha. Chris, I introduced you as an edge rusher, but you haven't always been an edge rusher. And, typically for guys like yourself who have played for ever, it seems, I'm pretty sure you've played offense, defense, and everywhere else in between. Give me like the general history of you and some of the positions you played.
So when I was playing flag, I was a quarterback. And then when I got to third grade, I was still playing quarterback. And then they actually tried me a little bit at safety. And I remember when my third grade year when I was playing like tackle football with pads and stuff like that, the first game I actually played, they just threw me out at safety because we did have a lot of quarterbacks like at the time. So they threw me out at safety and I caught an interception that first game. So I was playing safety for that part. And then I got a little bit bigger, and so they ended up moving me to like edge. And I didn't want to play edge at all when I was younger. So then I got to high school again. I wasn't that big either, so I tried to go back to quarterback. It didn't work, so I ended up going to receiver ninth grade year. So then, 10th grade year came, I transferred back to my home school, like my neighborhood school technically, and then tried the receiver thing. I wasn't getting a lot of reps, and so my junior year they tried me at safety, and then I wasn't making a lot of as much plays as I thought I was going to make. And then my senior year, my head coach he brought me in his office, Coach Ron Dorsey. He came in and was just like, "Look, like we have a perfect position for you. We feel like you're gonna like it. We feel like you'll be more comfortable where you can just roam around." And at the time, they just called it they called it hybrid, but it was it was really kind of the similar same thing to like edge slash outside linebacker. And then I was just blitzing off the edge, and in some plays I was dropping. And then my senior year, I ended up having like 14 sacks.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, when I was trying to look you up on Huddle, what came up is, this guy out of Jacksonville, Florida, Terry Parker High School, and it actually had wide receiver slash safety. And it had this, I guess, kid, little scrawny, like 6'4", 205 pounds, something like that. Hadn't really grown into himself yet. It probably, yeah, it's usually what happens in high school, trying to figure out the right fit and everything. But it seems like edge rusher has suited you. It just maybe took you a while to grow into it. So it's all right. Um, Chris, also have in my notes, you did a little bit of basketball growing up. And so uh, did that play into, I don't know, just a little bit more about who you were as an athlete growing up or what?
Yes, sir. Because that is the first sport I played. So, like, if it wasn't football, like, if I wasn't successful in football, like, I could always like just go back to basketball. Like, the years, like, it wasn't always perfect, like I said. So, basketball, I felt like was always something. It was natural for me. You know what I'm saying? It was just something that I had fun playing too because I was with my closest friends when I was playing basketball. It wasn't just like, you know like random pickup games. I was with the same team all the way until like my ninth grade year, and then I transferred back to my neighborhood school. But it's basketball has just always been something I felt like was, just something that was me, you know.
No, no, I get you, but obviously you chose to pursue the game of football. And out of high school, actually ended up going to Mississippi Valley State, an HBCU school. So, talk to me about you coming out of high school and landing there. How did you end up there? Can you walk me through your recruitment early on?
So after my 12th grade year, COVID happened, and I remember like recruitment was pick. It was like really like up and down for like really bad. So like some days I remember a lot of schools like they will call my AD or my coach and tell him like we like him a lot. If he gets weight added to him, he's gonna be good. Like we would like to take a chance on him. And then they got the rule like a lot of seniors are coming back, and then literally like from one day like throughout the season it'll be like, all right, I'm here. And then the rule came out. I was just like it was slowly going down. So it left me with a lot of thoughts. So like I might not make it. And then I remember I had a basketball game, and then I just got done like talking to like I had somebody had interviewed me, and then I got a phone call. Like I was going into the locker room, and then I got this call from a coach, like from Coach Lucky. He's actually not at Valley no more, but he called me. He was like, "Hey, like, this is Coach Lucky, the recruiting coordinator here at Valley. Like, we would like to get you on a Zoom call to like talk to you a little bit." And then I was just like, okay, like, what's the worst that can happen? Like me going into the Zoom call. So everybody on that Zoom call actually like they already had an offer, and some of them were already committed. And then in my head, I'm like, all right, they got me on a Zoom call with everybody who's offered and stuff like that. Are they just like trying to like there? And then they were just showing us what the school was at the time. So um
Well, I mean, it sounded like they were serious. I mean, when they're, it's like full court press. I mean, they have you in a Zoom call. They kind of have you cornered, and so they obviously wanted you to come along. Um, I was looking at really what you were able to do at Mississippi Valley State, and it didn't see you having much playing time other than perhaps maybe some special teams. And it really wasn't until you got to Chattanooga where you were able to start and shine. So, walk me through the transfer from Mississippi Valley State to Chattanooga.
so that my sophomore year, that's when I really got to play a little bit. And then like it wasn't a lot, but I got to like actually show what I can do. So going into my junior year, like people were like, oh, like he's gonna stay. And then like in my head, I felt like I wasn't I wasn't at a point where I wanted to be at, like just physically. So in my head, I said I felt like I could put my film together and maybe go to another school, and then, like they're gonna basically like help me grow to the player I wanted to be. So I spoke to a lot of other schools when I was in the portal. A lot of schools that were way too far from my house, like 21 hours, maybe 14, 10. And so it's like every school I was talking to at that time, it was like getting farther and farther from where I was already at. So chat I ended up going committing there, and then I tell you, like just like that, like from the snap of my fingers, I was just getting bigger, stronger, faster. And then it just happened for me. My senior year, I got the opportunity to play a little bit, and then just show it out what I can actually do. So
Yeah, and one thing that I've learned over the past several years of talking to a lot of the players from Chattanooga is that They do a very good job of developing their players. You know, they have a good strength program, you know, a lot of good coaches. Like they know how to develop you guys and make you NFL prospects. And so, you know, you go there, you know, you add a little bit more size, a little bit more strength, and you know, you get those opportunities, you know, so that you can get out there and start on defense. Talk to me a little bit about that defense there and more or less how you've been used throughout your career. Talk to me about you as a player.
Um, just me as a player, I felt like Chattanooga was just like it was fun, you know. So when I first got there, it was kind of hard because I had to sit behind two all conference players, but I was able to learn from them. That was the biggest thing. So I felt like me being able to learn from them, I was able to just flourish in the defense how I was able to this year and just show what I'm capable of. And then one thing about Chat, like everybody on that defense, we all share a common goal of like just getting stops, you know. And then I felt like our DC, both the DCs we had, Coach Coach Ward, he left, but Coach Yeager, like he gave us a challenge like every week of like what we're supposed to do, and I think like just defensively we just accepted the challenge and just wanted to make sure that we were able to tackle those goals that we had. So the defense, and then another thing too, like everybody on defense is really like good, so it helps a lot.
Yeah, one thing that we've noticed really over the past few years is that they do damage on their offensive and defensive lines. I mean, they've got a lot of good talent that's coming in there. They really know how to recruit, you know, in the trenches. And so there's you had mentioned some people that you know had come before you, and a lot of people that have really, I don't know, established that program, made it the success that it is. Can you talk about perhaps some of those teammates and who's been the most impressive for you over the years?
Um, so when I first got the chat, it was Jay Person and Ben Bruin. So they were in my room, so I got to talk to them a lot. And then you know Marlon, it's crazy because it's like our room and then their room is like right next to us. So it's just like Marlon and Quay, I got to talk to them a little bit too. So just being around those guys, it just kind of helps, you know, because Ben and Jay, they were in front of me, but I got to actually like start with Marlon and Quay. So I got to understand like what it is to like actually be on that starting defense for Chattanooga. So I felt like those guys helped me a lot along the way.
And really, I mean, I talked about you as an edge rusher, but I feel like there's a lot more than you than just an edge rusher. So, talk to me about you and really how you've been utilized, you know, throughout your career, as an edge rusher, as an outside linebacker, special teamer. Like, talk to me about you know, those things and you know how Chattanooga used you over your time there.
Chattanooga, like it was kind of like when I first got there, it was more like they wanted me to play a little bit field in so I can like understand the defense a little bit more. Because when I was at Valley, it was more the Joker spot. Like some people call it buck, but they called it at Valley they call it like the rhino position at the time. So it was kind of like the when I started this year, they put me back into the rhino spot to where I'm actually dropping, just coming like blitzing from a distance on some plays. So I feel like it was kind of the same almost a little
So,
bit.
so in what position do you feel like you excel at the most? Do you think that uh I don't know what spot really what is what I'm trying to get at, like that jack position, where you're lined up maybe in like a five or seven or something. Like how far out are you? I guess are you most comfortable?
I feel like in the jack spot, yeah. The jack spot I felt more comfortable because the field I not that I can't play it, it's what I've already been playing since I was younger, so the
No, I
jack spot
gotcha.
like
And then also really on special teams as well. So, what's your attitude towards special teams and maybe like your favorite position?
uh So special teams, I'm open to it. I like when I was a freshman, I was playing kickoff, and then I'd say more they kind of like moved me around a little bit. Sometimes I was the four, sometimes I played a little bit of gunner when I was in high school. So I mean I like the gunner spot. Like just going back to high school special teams wise, even though I didn't get to do it this year. I'd say like playing the gunner spot was is fun. Even when I got to do it a little bit in practice at a little bit at my time at Chat, I like playing the gunner spot.
Cool. Well, Chris, obviously, is looking at, what you guys were able to do this season for Chattanooga. Very competitive conference. I was looking at some of those games. I mean, I know the win-loss record isn't, maybe perhaps what you expected, but, some of those games are very tight where you guys are really only losing like maybe one possession. Um, how do you feel about this last season and what'd you get out of all of it, man? I mean, what do you think that you were able to go out there and improve, or what do you think you accomplished out there this year?
I just feel like what I felt like we accomplished just that we're like we can play, you know what I'm saying? Like what I felt like I can accomplish to myself is I can play like solid like for a long time and compete, so that's what I felt like I accomplished for myself. But as a team, I felt like we can just go out there and play whoever any given Saturday because through even like throughout the week. We practice like it's a game. It was every day was full speed, so it was nothing like we were going out there just nervous or I can only speak from a defensive standpoint. That's what I would say, but it was more like all right, if as long as we execute and do what we have to do, like it's gonna be easy. So I just felt like as a team we just accomplished that we can just go out there and just play and play fast.
Yeah, and I mean, you had 7 wins this past season. I mean, uh, it could have been a lot better, of course. I mean, you finished third in your conference. I mean, you guys were this close. If some of those would have gone perhaps the other way, obviously you guys might even still be in the playoffs. Who knows? But I know you had a lot of great moments, a lot of great games. Can you walk me through your favorite one? What do you feel has been your biggest highlight of your career?
Uh My favorite game, like regardless of the circumstances, I felt like Georgia State was a good game. I like we were like just some plays away, like this close. That's my like favorite game as like just with the team, because I feel like at that point everybody bought in, from people on the bench, like people who's starting and second stringers. Like I feel like everybody was they bought in that game, and then my favorite game. Personally, it was VMI. Even though they weren't a great team, but early like in the game, I actually like dislocated my finger. And then like, yeah, it was bad. It was terrible. Like my finger was actually like all the way over here. And so it was like second quarter. They took me out. I came off the sideline like I think I broke my finger. And he was like, "No, you just dislocated it." And he grabbed it and just popped it right back in place. And then my coach was like, "Is he good?" He was like, "Yeah, he just dislocated his finger." And then my coach was like, "All right, go back in there." And then I ended up getting 2 sacks that game. So
Well, I mean, hey, I mean, it's one of those things where like you are displaying your toughness, your grit, like your determination to go out there. I mean, despite the fact that things aren't perfect, your fingers going this way or that. Um, and so yeah, they just say, hey, take that thing up and go out there and keep working. So nice, nice. So obviously now, Chris, you are an NFL prospect. I mean, you are looking forward now to this draft season. Um, what are you up to right now, man? I mean, are you just in recovery right now before you kind of get into the grind of working out and going through this process, or what?
actually, like I finished school also not too long ago, like I want to say yesterday. So I've been kind of like trying to work out and actually like finish school. I've been working out and then trying to see my thing this I'm trying to get better at like being more flexible. So I'm working out and just stretch trying to stretch more, I'd say. But I've been working out, schoolwork, and just trying to
What did you finish up there with there at Chattanooga? Like, what was your degree?
so I'm going to be finishing with a psychology degree. So, yeah.
Interesting. What do you see yourself doing with that? Was that just something fun to do, or what?
Uh, See, when I was at Valley, I was a engineering major, actually. Yeah.
Wow. All right. That's a big difference, but okay.
So when I transferred to chat, like the two engineering like they didn't really the programs didn't really like correspond with each other because one was more like I will say like it was more architectural like stuff, and then this one at chat is more like it's engineering like you're sitting in you're
Okay.
so they didn't really correlate how I thought they were. So um they told me if I wanted to be eligible, I would be able to switch my because most of my credits transferred more to the psychology side. So I was just like, hey, like I always thought this was interesting. So I ended up
Hey,
actually liking it.
well, I will say this. I mean, most people in the workforce, they just want someone to prove that, they finished what they started. They go out there and, get a degree. Sometimes it doesn't even matter what it is. It's just the fact that, hey, I showed up, I did my work, and I completed the task. So, hey, and you did that. So, congrats. Um, I do want to take just a brief moment to meet you off the field. So, Chris, tell me something about you, whether it be a fun fact or if you have any special talents, any hobbies, interests, or something outside of sports. Talk to me about you.
Outside of sports, I do like to draw. I'm not currently at my house right now, but I can show you like some sketches that I do. Like I used to draw. Still do sometimes. I draw, do
So, do
draw.
you do that for fun, or is that something that if I were to tell you, hey, man, I mean, can you draw something for me so I can make it into a t-shirt? I mean, is that something you can do or what?
See it like when I was younger, it used to be really like big. Like I used to be big on drawing, so I still here and there might doodle. Like it just like if I'm just not doing anything, like if I don't feel like playing the game, if I completed all my homework and if just I got music playing and I'm not on my phone, like I'll just find myself drawing, like just doodling. Like I used to like drawing like cartoons and stuff, so I'll just still try to see if I can draw it a little bit.
So, when you say cartoons, are you saying like, I don't know, were you an anime guy or were you into like other things that you would draw?
Here and there, like I don't watch it as much as I used to, like I said, but I used to watch anime. Like it could be from anime to like Cartoon Network or Nickelodeon, just little stuff like that. And then I was just like, okay, I'm watching them. Like, let me see if I can still draw it. Like I'll just give myself a challenge or something to do.
Cool. Do you have a favorite cartoon growing up?
It was I could tell you like maybe three.
All right, hit me with them.
I used to watch like a lot of like reruns because we like a lot of my older siblings like they used to get the like disc of like of a season like about the seasons and stuff like that. So I
Yeah.
remember SpongeBob was one of them, and then we used to watch a lot of Kids Next Door. Uh, yeah, and then Ed and Eddie. I don't, I don't know why I like Ed and Eddie a lot.
Hey, no, it's fine. I mean, it shows a little bit of your personality. So, I mean, even now, just kind of smiling over those things. It's nice. It's nice to have a little bit of fun with it. Is I am kind of curious about your drawing, so maybe we can chit chat about that somewhere down the line, and we can showcase those things. But see if I can ask you maybe one more question before we get rolling. Um, uh, let's look at the guys that are in the league right now. Who do you feel is maybe the guy that you study the most, who plays your position? Or maybe even somebody who you're just a huge fan of. Maybe he doesn't even play your position. You're just a big fan of the guy at the next level. Who is that for you?
I want to say Brian Burns. I feel like because I'm just body type alone. I feel like we fit kind of the same type of body type. I mean, he wasn't like a big guy, going into his process as well. So I would say like Brian Burns and Hassan Reddick as well. Because even like when we weren't like watching us, we watched a lot of like their film, just seeing how like aggressive they were. Like they're not the biggest guy, and then if you look like a lot of people playing the jack position previously, they weren't the biggest guy. So we used to just watch those two people a lot. So
So I mean, you're watching guys who they have made their money off of just uh, really just a good pop off the line. They're able to get that good jump and just kind of utilize their speed, and then get to their target and deliver. And so I mean, you get to talking to guys like Burns who he's made a good living doing that. So hopefully here soon, Chris, you'll have that opportunity. Do want to close up shop, so. Talk to all those people out there, all those teams, and tell them what they would be getting if they took a chance on you. So go ahead and close with your final thoughts.
I feel like a team out there would just be getting somebody who has relentless effort. I'm always give it my best and give it my all. My Coach Wright used to always say, just spill your guts, and I felt like I'm one of those guys who's gonna spill his guts and try to do whatever he can to help the team be successful on defense, special teams too. Like yeah, I'm just hungry and effort. That's what I'm gonna give you.
Spill your guts. I wrote that in my notes. If that's what you're going out there in order to do, I don't know if people really want to see like that actually fit, literally on the field. But I mean, what we're really talking about is a player with relentless effort, and who gives it his all 100% of the time and makes plays out there on the field. So, Chris, want to wish you all the best in this process, and you take it easy, okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Sure, man. Once again, I got with me Chris Victor, edge rusher out of Tennessee, Chattanooga. Check this guy out.